So, Anthony, welcome to the show again. Week 2 of Starbucks on Deck. A little more to talk about this week, I guess. Obviously, with all the affiliates playing baseball now. Obviously, we want to talk about Paul Skenes again, but there's also more. We should spread the wealth. What do you think stood out this week for yourself?
I think probably the thing that stood out the most. I mean, obviously, we got our first chance to see like Bubba Chandler and Anthony Solometo and all that stuff. They looked solid. You could tell it was kind of like first game, still kind of ironing some stuff out and all that. But I think this weekend was a pretty good weekend overall for pitching. Some of the other guys, Hunter Barco pitched. He looked pretty solid. Michael Kennedy struggled a little bit with the control down in Bradenton, but like the slider and the changeup and stuff like that actually looked. I came away pretty impressed for someone who's just 19 years old. That's the big thing with the Pirates system, the pitching, and I think we got a pretty good glimpse of that so far. And it's still not even they're not even at 100% with it either, because Shim's on the IL, Harrington's on the IL, so it only kind of gets better from this point forward.
Yeah, I mean, before we dive into, Skenes is who we really want to dive into, but a couple pitchers there, right, for that haven't had a whole lot of time in the system yet, or if they did, it was in the complex league. So I want to talk about Barco. I want to talk about Kennedy. Those two. Hunter Barco, obviously, getting really his first real work. What really stood out to him, I think he was really impressive to me in particular during the spring breakout game. That was really the first time I got to watch him since college, and like he looked really good. So I guess dive in a little bit on Barco's start. What all did you see from him?
So it didn't start off the best. He walked like back-to-back hitters in the first inning, and the catcher came out to the mound. They had a little conversation, and then after that, he was throwing darts. The changeup. I know. You talked about the changeup a little bit on the breakout. Looked really good. He was even hitting the slider for some strikes and stuff like that. With the Greensboro broadcast, there's no radar gun or anything like that, so we couldn't really tell how hard he was throwing and stuff like that. But I thought the fastball to me, from what I saw with him in Bradenton last year, it was clearly like his third best pitch. Like it was, the changeup and the slider, and then like the fastball was pretty below the other two, but it looked a lot crisper, and he was hitting it for strikes. There's some good movement, and he was getting some misses up in the zone with it. I think it was only like 3 innings that he pitched, but it was a very, and when you factor in also it's Greensboro as well, I thought it was a probably as good as a first outing that you can probably have for someone this is going to be his first full season kind of getting back on the mound.
Yeah, 3 innings, no hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. So yeah, I'd say pretty successful debut there in Greensboro. And then heading down to Bradenton, another lefty, 4th round pick from 2022, high school arm, Michael Kennedy. Not as much success as Barco, but really his first start in Bradenton. He made a couple of relief outings last year, but yeah, what stuck out to you with Michael Kennedy there?
I think mainly with him it was the secondary pitchers really stood out, really surprised me for someone like I saw little bits of him. I saw one of the outings that he had in Bradenton at the end of last year, and you kind of see some of it there, but like in the longer outing that he had there, he used the changeup a little more, got some misses with it. I really like for someone who's he'll be 19 the entire year. So very young, and for him to have that kind of command and that kind of presence when it comes to those kind of secondary pitches, I thought was really impressive. The big question for him is going to be the fastball, because I think it was like 88 to 91 most of the day. Didn't really locate it well. Got hit. Didn't throw many strikes with it, so that'll be the main thing with him to kind of watch over the season and over, I guess, his career, to see if maybe he can add a couple miles to it.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. So what about the big boy, AAA, Paul Skenes?
Well, do you want to still kind of lead up to it? Because I want to talk a little bit.
Okay, we can. let's
we
end
have
with
all the
Skenes.
pitchers.
We
And
can.
Friday was a huge day too. Bubba Chandler
end
was
with
there.
Skenes.
I will throw another guy out here too. On here, we got to see him during the spring breakout too. Patrick Riley struck out 8 in 3 1/3 innings, and his big thing was like he had a 14% walk rate at Vanderbilt, which so that was the big question. He only walked 1, threw a lot of strikes. It was the fastball, like I said with Greensboro. I have no clue how hard he was throwing, but like he was blowing. His whiff rate was right at like 60%. Like he was throwing it, they weren't hitting it. He gave up like an extra run or 2 at the end because he got pulled from the game, and Luis Peralta, the guy who came in behind him, threw like 2 wild pitches and then walked a bunch of people, so that ended up bringing in a couple runs. But like I wasn't sure how they were going to use him exactly. I kind of seemed like he was a candidate to try him as a starter. He was probably a reliever, like long term. But obviously, Paul Skenes and Bubba Chandler, they're your top guys and stuff like that. But I think you could probably make a case that he had one of the better outings this weekend out of the entire group. So
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we'll end with Skenes then. So again, pitching wise, Chandler, Solometo, they both pitched. We mentioned them a little bit, but let's look on the offense. Offensively, who stood out to you?
So it's from like late last night, I was kind of like bouncing back between, or Saturday night, I was bouncing back between all of the games that wasn't like AAA, because AAA had a doubleheader that day, and it was very slim pickings with the offense for I think they got through all 3 of the games were like almost 2/3 of the way through, and they had like a combined 6 hits between the 3 of them. But by the time it all said and done, Lonnie White Jr. hit a 3-run home run. Hudson Head hit a walk-off home run. Stuff started to come. And then like Bradenton too, they kind of got the short end of the stick this weekend because they faced that, a couple pitchers that were on like rehab assignments. They faced like a college pitcher who way advanced for the level there. And so they got picked on a little bit this weekend. So the numbers aren't going to look good for Bradenton this first weekend. I thought a couple of them, Charlene Polanco and like Javi Rivas, they battled pretty hard given the circumstances with it. So I came away a little impressed with them and encouraged for them going forward. But Jack Brannigan, his big thing was the strikeouts last year. He didn't strike out at all. He walked 4 times, hit a home run, stolen base. So looked pretty good there. I mean, there probably isn't a reason he should be in Greensboro right now. So
right.
Take it with that. But he's there. He's making the best of it. And he's showing the improvements that you kind of want to see from him right there. And,
if he's going to be there, might as well mash, right? So
exactly.
It's good to see what he did the first weekend there. You mentioned Lonnie White Jr., 3-run homer yesterday, and then also 3-run homer today too, right?
Yep.
Or
both to right center field showed the kid has so much raw power in that bat, and like sure it's Greensboro, so maybe but like where he put both of those home runs, that's all him. That wasn't the stadium. That was all him.
Nice.
So
that's good.
Still struck out a little bit. Yeah. Strikeouts is going to be the thing with him.
I was looking at these numbers: 12 at bats, 2 3-run homers, and 7 strikeouts. So.
Yep. He struggled a little bit on there. He struggles with the breaking pitches, which I mean, for someone who's missed as much time as him and stuff like that, yeah, that's going to be a thing. Do you want to see it less than what that is? Obviously, but for someone who's missed as much time as him, I guess that's going to happen. We'll just see how quickly he can make that kind of adjustment, especially at this kind of level.
Yeah, still a big season for him.
Yeah. Anything else offensively stand out this weekend? I know Termar didn't have like the greatest of weekends, starting off slow.
Termar, like I think it was nice seeing him hit the home runs in spring training, but also at the same time, like the way his whole approach the entire spring was exactly what I saw last year, and it's exactly what I didn't want to see him doing into this year. Like he sells out so much for power. Like he's probably right now, he's probably going to be the guy. He could probably hit 25 to 30 home runs at some point in the majors, but he's only going to bat 220. So stuff like that. And it's a shame too, because like you see the potential there to be more of a well-rounded hitter. And he did have a hit on, it was like on a full count. It was a breaking ball that was going away from him against a lefty, and he kind of slapped it the other way for a hit. And it's like, that's what you want to see more of. Like there are times last year where even in that situation, he's trying to send it straight down right field for a home run. Just take what they give you, work the counts. Like he doesn't chase. Like his chase rates are elite. Like right now, you plug him in the majors, he's probably one of the best when it comes to chase rates in all of baseball. It's selling out for the stuff that's inside the zone that he's really struggling with, and it's just the power's there. Let it come. He just needs to let it come more naturally. I feel like, and then we'll start seeing kind of the turnaround for him.
Fair. Okay, Jim, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
We ready for Paul Skenes, baby?
Paul Skenes. I mean, that Paul Skenes is for Paul Skenes. Like that stuff is just like, man, like it's he's there. Like I don't like the small sample size things, but like the guy is there because they're trying to monitor innings, and because this is new to him. That's it. If you wanted to, and if arm things aren't an issue, or like this is a video game or whatever you want, you can plug him right into the major league rotation, and he can get people out. You can, like he'll have some struggles and stuff with it, but like it's not a development thing that why he's down there. It's they want to make sure that the guy they invested so much in is going to get through the entire season healthy. And that means monitoring what he does there, limiting how much he's throwing, and then letting him loose whenever they decide he's ready to be let loose. But
yeah,
stuff's electric.
Second straight 3-inning outing. He was perfect through 3 the first time out. This time he does give up a hit and a walk. So, not perfect, but he strikes out 6, and it was a much more difficult Memphis lineup than what he faced the first time around in Louisville too. Which so the fact that like he still mowed through him, he looked really impressive against him.
Yeah, it's everything, the fastball. He even started like I feel like in the Louisville game he was attacking more up in the zone and stuff like that. He was starting to move the fastball a little bit more around, bottom of the zone. He was working the splinker or whatever you want to call it. I love that he can use that to both righties and lefties on both sides of the plates. And that pitch just works so well off of the slider that like I remember one of the hitters against Louisville, like he didn't even need the fastball. He just bounced back and forth between the slider and the splinker, and the guy had no shot because they tunnel so well off of each other that
yeah. So last week when you were on here, you said, I think he's gonna try that. They're gonna try to do that like 2 starts in 1 week twice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now we're a week later, and I was gonna say,
I don't think you can make it that, because like, what is it? He pitched Friday now, so he should pitch like Thursday this week coming up. Yeah. So you kind of slap. So like that's still like 2-3 weeks away till he does his. At this point, like I'm almost willing to like he keeps going like this. Like the first time he does it at that Sunday, send him. I mean, like I don't hold me to it, but like as far as what I've seen, like there's literally nothing else that I really have to see that he needs to work on at the minor league level. I don't think there ever was, outside of just getting the routine down. So
well, certainly the
more I see him, the more I'm just like, you know what? I'm cool with this for a little bit, but like just a little bit, guys. Like, like once he's shown he can go 5 innings on 5 days rest, like that's it. That's the last thing that needs checked. Once he does that, we don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
He's and like back to the point. As far as lineups, I'm gonna watch it like first inning 1, 2, 3, all strikeouts, and the third one being Lars Nootbaar. And again, like he's not a slouch either for the major leagues. I mean, he had little 118 weighted run created plus last year. I mean, he's like a 3-WAR player basically in the majors.
Yeah.
And Paul Skenes made him look silly.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Yes. Like I am just infatuated with Paul Skenes this year. I can't wait. And it's kind of interesting what Charrington said today. So it seems like he pretty much said like through April, he kind of left everything open-ended. I don't know. You're hearing a lot of people talk about May 3rd.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, we're in uncharted territory here with it because like Jared Jones started with the major league team. So like, I mean, we can say that this isn't what the Pirates do, but also if we're going by what the Pirates usually do, we wouldn't have Jared Jones in the major league rotation right now. So not saying it's going to happen, but maybe we have to kind of change how we think about things going on now.
Love it.
Yep. All right. Well, anything else we want to add here, Murphy?
No. I mean, solid week. Looking forward to this week. Will be the first week we get a full slate of games all week for all the affiliates. So, and we're a couple weeks from the Complex League starting as well. So,
when does that start? When does Complex League start?
It's like May, like the first weekend in May or something like that.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, Murphy, I know you're recovering from surgery, so we appreciate you hopping on here. Best wishes to your recovery. Thanks for hopping on. You can find Murphy on Twitter at _ Murphy88, right? And then also Bucs On Deck, the Substack. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. It's going to be your best daily Pirates writing that you'll see out there. So, yeah,
I appreciate that
for sure. Appreciate you coming on as always. We'll see you next week.
Of course, yeah, sounds good.